Hey, welcome back, loyal friends. I'm so happy that you have followed me along in this magical journey. Now, let's recap what happened in episode 2. Previously, on the siblings of the Willow Manor, Yimi discovered the magical Willow Kingdom and met Queen Eloise and little Chuck. There, she learned that her grandparents were once protector of the realm. Back at the Willow Manor, Lilo worried when Yimi suddenly disappeared. When she returned, she showed him the enchanted garden. However, Lilo couldn't see the magical kingdom. This leaves the siblings frustrated and confused. Meanwhile, a monster known as Fear begins spreading chaos across Willow Kingdom. Before Yimi could escape with little Chuck, Queen Eloise gave her a warning: do not let fear consume you. Now, back at the manor, Lilo discovered his grandfather's diary, where he had written about a magical garden filled with enchanted creatures. At first, Lilo wanted to ignore it, but he believed there must be a reason why his grandfather had left clues like this in his diary. Meanwhile, on the other room, Yimi was planning on how to attack the monster Fear. "Oh, Chuck, if that monster appears again, I will give it some of this, some of that. And Chuck will give it some of this, and whack!" Yumi chuckled. She continued to draw the map on how they could help move all the creatures to a safer place. While Yimi was busy planning the attack, Lilo was curious about the garden Yimi had described, especially because it matched what his grandfather had written in the diary. "Oh wow!" he exclaimed. Lilo couldn't believe his eyes. Glowing butterflies danced through the air, and luminous flowers bloomed around him. Lilo continued to walk into the enchanted garden, and there he discovered the glowing portal. "This must be what Yimi had mentioned before," said Lilo. Shocked by everything he had seen, Lilo rushed back to the manor and continued reading through his grandfather's diary. Suddenly, a photo of Lilo and Yimi slipped between the two pages. On the back, it was a handwritten message: "My bloodline will forever believe and continue to protect the light beyond the manor." Lilo then immediately rushed to Yimi's room. As he slowly turned the doorknob, he froze in shock. "Yimi, get away from that thing!" Lilo shouted. You stay away from my sister, you fluffy bomb!" "Ooh, why thank you," Chuck replied proudly. "You tall, grumpy ginger, you're not bad yourself." "You saw him!" Yumi exclaimed happily. "I knew it! I knew you would!" Yumi then ran toward her brother and hugged him tightly. This time, Lilo hugged her back. "I'm sorry that I didn't believe you," he said softly. "But I do now. Grandpapa made sure of that." After rebuilding their trust and belief in one another, Yimi and Lilo shared everything they had discovered about the Willow Kingdom. Together, they began planning how to defeat Fear, rescue the creature, and eventually face the other monsters: greed, jealousy, and hatred. After a long discussion, Yimi, Lilo, and little Chuck geared up and entered the portal together. When they arrived in the kingdom, it was no longer as beautiful as before. It was cold, lifeless, and empty. "Where is everybody?" Yimi asked sadly. "Well, I'm sure they're here somewhere," Chuck replied. "Yoo-hoo! My friends! My family! Yoo-hoo!" Chuck shouted. "Oh my God, shh!" Lilo whispered sharply. "Chuck, keep it down! You're going to attract unwanted monster!" Suddenly, a fox with a glowing golden tail slowly approached them. "Chuck, is that you?" "Chuck, they're all gone! My family, my friends, they're gone!" the fox cried. Yimi gently held the fox's paw to comfort him. Hey, don't worry," she said softly. "It's going to be all right. I'm sure they're here somewhere. Come on, let's go find them." Eventually, they arrived at the forest cottage where Fairy Queen Eloise was staying, the same place where Fear had launched its attack. Inside, Queen Eloise looked terribly weak and ill. yet she still smiled warmly when she saw Yimi and Lilo standing together. Around Queen Eloise's bed stood several magical creatures, including the little fox and his mother with their glowing golden tails. "I don't know what happened," Queen Eloise whispered weakly, "but these creatures suddenly appeared and I brought them here for safety." That was when Lilo realized something. "Where were they before?" he asked. "Well, they were running for safety when fear came crashing through the forest," Eloise explained. Lilo slowly turned towards Yimi. "It was you, Yimi. You made this possible," said Lilo as he turned to Eloise. "Your Majesty, but do you know where we can find this monster?" Lilo asked the Fairy Queen. "Well, I'm afraid not. Fear hides within the forest, and it only appears when we are not looking for it," said Eloise.
"Well, what are we waiting for? Let's not look for this monster,"
said 𝐁𝐚𝐭 happily. "That's right, 𝐁𝐚," said Lilo. The siblings and 𝐁𝐚 all went outside. "Let's not fear this monster. Let's all be brave," said Yimi. "That's right, Yimi," Lilo agreed. "Let's all be brave. Now, we'll help every creature rebuild their homes here, and when fear comes, we'll be ready." Then one night, violent tremors shook the woods. Fear had arrived. Lilo, Yimi, 𝐁𝐚, and all the magical creatures fell to the ground, chaos everywhere, fear in their eyes. Everyone felt shook and scared. Yimi then looked at her brother and nodded. "We can do this," said Yimi. They all then stand together, hand in hand, ready to fight. "We are not afraid of you," Lilo said. "We are not afraid of you," Yimi shouted. Then everyone began to chant together. "We are not afraid of you! We are not afraid of you!" Fear fought back with sharp lightning and heavy rain. Still, they stood together and continued to chant. "We are not afraid of you!" Then fear summoned violent winds and defeating thunder. But with courage and determination, nobody stepped back. Yimi closed her eyes and whispered, "Courage defeat fear. And you fear, you can't hurt us." Suddenly, the dark violet skies began to clear. Fear was swept away by the wind itself, and the air became fresh once more. Warm sunlight finally returned to the kingdom. "We did it!" Yimi shouted happily. All the creatures jumped with joy, and 𝐁𝐚 danced excitedly around them. Later that day, Yimi, Lilo, and 𝐁𝐚 visited Queen Eloise once more. Yimi saw the Fairy Queen. She seemed very weaker than before. "I'll be okay, Yimi," Eloise said gently. "Now that you have defeated fear, it is time for you to meet greed." "Greed lives among us," Eloise continued. "It appears every day and slowly takes over the minds of the Willow Kingdom subject. Now help them. They live near the castle village. Let them know who you are. You overcome greed and you will finally meet the royal subject," said Queen Eloise. Later, Yimi, Lilo, and little 𝐁𝐚 walk hand in hand toward the Willow Kingdom village near the castle, and they are ready for whatever came next.